Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sunlit Valley SMP. Once again, winter is upon us, and you know what this weather reminds me of? Caroline's cold, cold heart. That's right, I said it. Even though Caroline may not be the nicest person in our little village, I think today I'm still going to bring her out of this little stall that I've kept her in for a while. Leon and Ace are still going to be in here, but don't worry about them for now. I'll be honest, what mostly motivated me to do this is that last episode I got quite a few fancy decorations, a lot of the regal style furniture, as well as a couple of coin stacks and cool things, and all of these I think would be super perfect for a bank interior and really nowhere else in my base, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think that's going to be the goal for today. I even have a gold coin stack as well, I didn't know that, but the theme is definitely very on point, I would say. And you may be wondering where the bank is actually going to go. In the last episode we made our little slime farm, and I mentioned that it was going to act as the base of a very tall building, so I think probably the entirety of the giant tower that I plan to build is going to be the bank, which is a very bold decision because the banker itself doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, there's really not a whole lot of function to her other than just handling money. But nonetheless, she's going to end up with a very, very grand place of business. And as one would imagine, since this tower is going to be very, very large, we will need a lot of materials. My fish ponds are running out of sparkstone, so they're not automatically collecting things anymore, but they had been previously for long enough that I think we'll have everything that we need for today, like some andesite and some sand, as well as a few alpine logs, a few pine cones. And next, I'm actually going to make use of one of our lava fish farms. Our bonefish here give us tons and tons of bone meal, which I have been collecting, but I haven't actually gone through a whole lot of it. I mean, there's only so much I need to bone meal around here since it doesn't work on crops or trees. However, for this build, we can actually turn all of it into bone meal, which then can be bone blocks, and those will actually be really, really cool for building, I think. Especially when we combine it with a little bit of limestone, and then possibly even some andesite for a really good gradient. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm also going to want to include some green in this build. And the way I do that is with some moss. However, I kind of want to get more than what we have, although we do have a decent amount. However, by the time I'm done making all of the mossy cobblestone and such that I want to make, I think we're going to run pretty low. Don't worry though, because I found a little bit of a trick in the skull caverns. Since all of the blocks that players actually break in this dimension will regenerate automatically, it makes it a really, really good way to easily farm some moss, which I know is definitely not the intention of the game, but it's really working out for me. You know what, while I'm here, I guess I might as well grab a little bit more lead and sparkstone. But now that we're back on the overworld, there is another thing that does come from a different dimension that I do need for this build. However, we do have some soul sand in here, so I'm hoping I can just use that, because I'm looking for a wall block that will go with dark oak, and there's really not a whole lot of options for that even in modded, but we can make soul sandstone, which can then be turned into sandstone walls. And so all we need for that is 4 blocks of regular soul sandstone, and so we can only make 6 walls with the stuff that we have. Okay, that might not be as much as I was hoping it was going to be, and it looks like that is all that we've got. We do need 16 walls, so I think we will have to go into the nether for just a little bit today. Really just dipping our toes in for a second. I mean, luckily we do spawn in a soul sand valley, so there's not a whole lot of commuting we have to do. There we go. The last material I think I'll need is some glass, which we do have a lot of just in storage. However, for this build, I think I'm going to use some pine horizontal glass and some square pine glass. But with that, since it's finally not snowing for once, I think it's time to get building. And after about 3 hours of building, the tower is finally complete. It is gigantic, a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. It definitely dwarfs everything else that we've built so far, but it does make a decent centerpiece for the whole base. Or I don't know, maybe I'll build a couple of other really big things like this in the area, but as you can see, the first floor is very tall windows with the big columns, very much like what we did in our starter house. I also did end up including quite a lot of moss to kind of match all of the teal that we've got going on down there. A lot of the other stuff I've really kind of kept very grey, but I thought for this one it would really help transition it up into just the plain stone. Which, speaking of, we've got more curvy sort of windows duplicated on both levels. You can see on the third layer I used the bone blocks to make it very, very smooth and not too busy because the top roof does have quite a lot of intricate details. And I don't know if it really came through in the time lapse, but I did use quite a lot of blocks on this to really get that full gradient. there really aren't blocks of this color that we can use in vanilla, so I had a lot of fun kind of transitioning it like that. But yeah, I would say this is definitely a big upgrade to our entire base. However, we aren't done building yet because this place does still need an interior. I've gathered most of my fancier bank sort of related building blocks, as well as a few alpine logs to use for the ceiling, and my original plan for the floor was going to be these fancy looking detailed dark oak planks. However, I came across these checkered blocks that I think I got from destroying another villager's house, and I'm not sure, these might look a little bit better. I mean, it'll be a little bit busy, I'm not sure which one we'll end up using. Maybe we'll stick with the dark oak for now, that's kind of the safer option. However, I also do want to use the same wallpaper inside of the bank. It's kind of purpley-ish and it really does match Caroline's whole vibe. So I think I will come in here for a second and just kind of steal all of this really quick. Oh, and I forget that it's an axe to destroy wallpaper. There we go. I know you'll miss this for a little bit, but you'll be reunited soon. And I mean, you're in a tiny sad little stall. The wallpaper didn't do a whole lot to fix that situation, I don't think. I'm hoping that just a stack of wallpaper will be enough to cover all of this. I don't think the villagers actually sell this until summer, so if we run out, we might be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, update, that was in fact not nearly enough to cover all of this. I wasn't trying to go all the way up to the top, but I did want to just reach up to like that moss block-ish, or at least the moss block was going to be the ceiling. It actually has gotten quite dark in here. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think it was going to. I mean, there are plenty of windows, but you know what, just a torch will do for now. And anyways, I do really want to find a way to get more of this. Oh, I can make it. Oh, I just have to use fish to do it. Surprisingly, those are in quite short supply since I've gotten my slimes. Well, I guess we're back to it then. Okay, I've gotten 40 more. I don't think that's gonna be enough, but maybe. I had to use quite a lot of really high quality fish on this. And I was hoping that I would be able to just get some fish from my fish ponds, but for some reason the basket isn't harvesting the fish. I'm not entirely sure why. I even set up the Sneep Snorp one for all of my slimes, but I haven't been able to get any of them to work. So if anyone knows the answer, I'd really love to know, because this is kind of halting a lot of my production. I mean, I kind of have based everything off of my ability to get fish in this world. Anyways, everything is slowly freezing over, but I could always fish underneath one of my structures in these artificial ponds, especially because we're not looking for anything super fancy for a fish. Although that being said, the first one is a Pacific halibut. There we go, a minnow, that's more like it. Well, that was easy, and with one block to spare. However, this place does need a little bit more decoration and also kind of a front entryway of some sort. One of the things that I have in my decoration box is a royal door, which I will use along with some small limestone bricks. And I kind of thought this door was going to be taller, so I don't know what I'm going to put in there. I guess just a horizontal piece of limestone for now. And now with the bank feeling a little bit more secure, I think it's finally time to decorate. However, I've remembered a way that we could get even more decorations than what we currently have, and that's by taking over everything that Caroline owns using this blueprint that I got when she moved into the village. See, even she's happy about it. That's right, it's gonna be fun. So let's see, we'll just place this out in the snowy field somewhere. I guess like here, oh, it's pretty, it's purple. I guess I should have expected that. Oh my gosh, it is like a bank. All right, let's build it. Oh, this is pretty cute. Okay, this is good. We're gonna have so much purple decor to work with. Oh my gosh, and the inside. That's so cool. What are these, bismuth bars? Oh, they're like iridescent. Is that the right word? They change color. Purple counters. Oh my gosh, I was actually gonna make these. Well, not these exact ones. I didn't want the actual cabinets in it, but I was thinking these are exactly Caroline's colors. I can't believe I know so much about Caroline now. We've really gotten close throughout this whole building process. But yeah, she's got a cute little upstairs as well. Oh, a wine box, amazing. A little candle holder, some bookcases, some coffee, oh my gosh. Oh, and down here there's a little bank terminal in each little side thing. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Well, this is very cute. I suppose now it's time to tear it all down. For repurposing, of course. Alright, and with that, I think we now have all of the stuff that we need to do some decorating. That bank build used a lot of these little street lanterns, which I do really love. I've gotten a couple of them before, but I think I have to craft them in the furniture box. So I haven't used them that much, but they're very fancy. I really like them. No, I might even do a few in here for our lighting. They kind of match everything. I also got this fancy glass window, which I think might be better than just plain limestone. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more fancy. But I do want to move Caroline in here pretty soon, so let's set up the place that she'll kind of be, I suppose, well, for the rest of her life. I'm gonna make kind of like a little central bank counter, like the typical sort of place where the teller would stand, but then I think it should be a little bit more reinforced, so I'm gonna do a very similar thing that the bank did with a few of these bars around. Oh, and that does match the room really, really well. These bars I know change color, but they turn from like purple to pink, and then a little bit to green, so no matter what, they really do complement all of the colors. However, since I do want Caroline to stay here forever, I am gonna stack up a few more cabinets. But you may have noticed that we are still able to just hop back and forth across the counter. So to prevent Caroline from doing that, much like I would with a vanilla villager, I'm just gonna use a trapdoor right there. And then maybe a few more along the top just to cover it up a little bit. And then I kind of want to work with the windows of this place and just stack more drawers on top of this. I don't know if I'll store all of my valuables in here, but it'll be good to have a lot of storage either way. I mean, imagine how offended Caroline would be if I made a whole bank for her and then didn't store my money here. It would almost be worth keeping everything in all of their unsecured locations around my base. But feuds with NPCs aside, this place does still need a little bit of seating, and since the bank used these tiny little willow seats, I think I'll do the same. These are really handy because they only take up one block and you can make rows of them super easily. There were also a surprising amount of plant pots around the bank, so I think I'm going to do a couple on either side, kind of disguising the fact that we've got a completely open to the public little cabinet here. I mean, anybody can access it, but Caroline will always be watching, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But now that we've got all of the base decorations in, I think it's finally time to add some functionality to the place. I mean, because after all, what would a bank really be without a bank terminal? So I think I'll put one right here, and then I have an idea of how to use some frame trapdoors to my advantage here, just to make it so this isn't completely flush with the wall. I think that's going to look a little bit weird, but if we do some trapdoors with the wallpaper, I think that's going to give it a lot more depth. And obviously, any extra space that we can get in this room is always a good thing. Oh, now that I think about it, I suppose we could move Caroline in right now. That's right, it's finally the day, Caroline. I'm also going to grab a few of your extra decorations that I've left in here, including 2 separate cash registers. There we go. Oh my gosh, is she immediately gonna escape? Don't do it. Oh no, she is. Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, that complicates things a little bit. Look at that, she's nodding at me. What the heck? Oh my gosh, is Caroline outsmarting me right now? I knew that you knew we had a feud. I mean, I suppose I could do more bars along there, but that wouldn't really look that great, and I really don't want to cover up those windows. It's really quite the predicament, to be honest. But you know what, maybe I could put the cash register here instead. Then I wouldn't necessarily have to have a trapdoor here, I think. Although she might still jump onto the bars from the ladder. Yep, it looks like she just really likes that corner for some reason. That's okay though, because I think I actually prefer the gold cash register to maybe be over here instead. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, you know what, we do have a few more pieces of glass from the bank, so maybe that's what's going to save us here. I mean, she would still kind of be able to jump out there. I don't really want to use the magenta that much. Oh, but even that's not really my favorite. Although maybe we could kind of do something fancy for an archway on the ceiling maybe, and that would kind of take care of that little space up there. Don't worry guys, we are gonna outsmart Caroline, I promise. Okay, so I didn't end up changing anything with the glass. I tried a couple of things, but all of them just really felt too busy, especially with all of the roof details, but I think those really do add a lot. So yeah, now hopefully this should mean she should stay down here. Unless, of course, she goes upstairs and never comes back down, which is a possibility. Oh my goodness, okay, so she might just stay up here. I mean, I guess that's fine. I was planning on making this your cute little bedroom, but I was hoping you'd kind of come downstairs sometimes. Well, that's fine. I can still do a couple of other little decorations, like this little counter with a plant pot and a little coffee station. That kind of feels like something they would have in a bank, right? And now I'm going to try my hand at making a little bit of a different kind of fish tank stand, using these 2 purple inner cabinets to hopefully make it be kind of like a little sort of curvy one. And we'll see how it looks. Actually, that's not bad. It feels fancier than a regular bookcase, right? My other option I was gonna do was just using this, but I don't feel like that's really a fish tank stand sort of vibe. I'll also include a couple more plants in here with some blue pots and some purple flowers. I also really did like these gray sofas, so I was hoping that I would be able to incorporate them in here, but I don't know, is that too crowded? I kind of feel like that's too much. However, I forgot about these coin stacks, and they're kind of my whole motivation for this build, so I think we have to incorporate them somewhere. I'm just not really sure where. I mean, this place doesn't really have a safe. It's kind of just here that I imagine all of the valuable stuff is being kept. Maybe I do need a little bit of a table here. That way we'll be able to sell this more as a bank interior. Oh, I also got a few of these cute little bookshelves. I think all 3 of these are different, but they're all so cool. One of them has a little cobweb, one of them has bottles, and one of them even has a little black cat in it. And I think, oh, I don't even need silk touch for them. So I'm going to include a little bit of a weird bookcase up top here to really finish that whole section off. And with one final little clock as a finishing touch, I think that the bank interior is finished. So now I do want to turn my attention really quick to all of the quests, specifically in the community center. I have completed some of these, and some of them I'm kind of working on because they do require some random things that I don't quite have. But the vaults, all you have to do for these is just throw some money at them, which I think I can do really quick. And then look at a couple of different things like some really good fertilizer, a charging rod, which would have been really good to know back when I tried to get it by myself. I could have just donated 4 iridium coins and got it super easy, but the last thing that I'm really interested in is this crystallarium. This one costs 6 iridium coins, but I think it's worth it, because this will allow us to duplicate any mineral or gem that we put in here, and I'm wondering if this will work on sparkstone. That obviously is one thing that I'm really running out of a lot, because it's really used for all things that you can automate in this game. So I don't know, this would be a really easy fix for that. Oh, but it looks like it doesn't. I also brought an emerald just to see. Oh, and that works. Okay, so it doesn't work on sparkstone, but that's alright. Well, maybe I shouldn't have put that emerald in there, because I want to kind of sink it into the wall, I think, like I did for the bank terminal. Let's see, will this break it? Oh, it doesn't. I get it back. Okay, good. There we go. I think that's a pretty good dual purpose thing here. Plus, now that means that I could probably move all of my random gem storage into the bank. That's the main thing in my starter house that is still taking up quite a lot of space. Oh, and since we got this hat grab bag, I suppose we might as well open it. Oh my gosh, an RGB Easter Island head. Alright, well, we've got to try it out, don't we? Oh my gosh, that does not work with the farmer's hat. You know what? Wonderful. That was an excellent use of an epic hat grab bag. Imagine if I just left this on, and this is what I look like for the rest of the series. Obviously, though, I will not be doing that. But with the bank interior being finished, I think it's finally time to move up into Caroline's apartment, which she has decided to hang out in this entire time since I've let her loose. The window designs on this build do kind of make it suitable for wallpaper, but instead of using a classic wallpaper like I did down here, I think I'm going to use some of the flowering purple planks because that does suit her vibe a little bit more. And let's see, I'm not really sure where the ceiling should end on this. I guess if we did something like that, that would be kind of cool. Have it slip in a little bit with some stairs. And I really do want this to be purple, but I only have willow stairs left. So I think all of her walls are going to be like pseudo shelves a little bit. I'm not sure, it's a little weird, but not too bad. Now we will need to brighten it up in here a little bit, and to do that I think I'm going to use a lot of these royal furniture set pieces, as well as a few of these paper walls to kind of divide things. In the original bank they used willow doors and trapdoors, but I think since I've used that everywhere else, we probably should break it up a little bit. So I guess now I really need to figure out a floor plan. I'll start with maybe the bed right here, and then we could have a little desk area. Or actually, maybe the desk goes in front of the window, with a little chair. I also recently got this little sewing mannequin, which I think kind of fits the vibe. Not exactly bank, but definitely very fancy. So yeah, oh, and the royal shelf actually does kind of work with the stair walls. I mean, it doesn't fully connect, but who's really gonna know? And maybe instead of these paper walls right here, I might actually do this regal bookshelf, which I actually have 3 of, so I was kind of hoping to fit all of them in here. I mean, would it be weird for me to do that? I mean, this could be a cute little sitting area or something in here. Okay, so that was a little bit harder than I thought it was gonna be. I know I took it upon myself to only use the blocks that I got from the bank, but I really don't have a whole lot of other purple stuff. However, that did make it more like a puzzle when I was trying to put all of these different little spaces together. But I mean, for using all of the random blocks that we got, I think that it turned out pretty well. I really did want to make use of a lot of these fancier furnishings that I don't really think I'm going to use anywhere else. Like I managed to cram 3 regal bookshelves in here as kind of a dividing wall, which I mean, I think that counts as impressive, right? It's like one giant bookcase. And then I've got this little mini library over here with her radio and a picture frame. I didn't really know what to do with this corner, so this just has a minimalist mirror and a little cushion there. The kitchen I think is my favorite just because I really do love all of these purple counters and cabinets and things. And yeah, I think Caroline might just be stuck up here forever. I don't think I can get her to go back down the ladder, which is unfortunate. I mean, all of my towers are really difficult to try to fit a staircase into. But you know what, just as a test, I'm gonna try to see if I can stop her from coming up here with a trapdoor. I'll just replace her nameplate one more time and hopefully you're gonna stay, right? Oh my gosh, don't do it. You wouldn't do it, would you? I don't think they can. Okay, they can't open trapdoors, I'm pretty sure. I mean, she might still stay on that ladder, but I guess that's better than her not being in the room at all. So that's something at least. Oh, and her crystallarium is ready. Now we have 2 emeralds. Amazing. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this bank interior. However, I forgot to look at what we actually get from completing the vault, and it turns out that's one of the ways that you can actually get the Skull Cavern teleporter. So that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll actually put this at the very top of the tower at some point. Of course, as you probably know, we've already gotten to the Skull Cavern thanks to Squid over there, but it would still be kind of cool to have one at my base just for the heck of it. And we do still have a little bit of room up here that we could maybe do something with, although that would mean that I would have to have the ladder go right through Caroline's apartment. But maybe we can make that work, as much as I do love inconveniencing Caroline. But all of the advancements and things have gotten me thinking about all of the ways that I can automate things in this game, and even though we are running very low on Sparkstone, I do kind of want to still make some of them today. Specifically things that will help me feed my slimes, because they're all very mad at me because I haven't been able to feed them or really keep up with it at all. So I want to make one of these minis artisan hoppers. Since we've got our fortress groupers giving us iridium scrap, it should be pretty easy to get all of this. We do need a Neptunium coin, which I can craft using some iridium coins. Here we go. I'm going to start by using them on my deluxe worm farms because those automatically refill because of whatever thing that I put on there. Very scientific, but the area on these hoppers is 3x3, so I'm hoping maybe just one of them will work. Oh, it did! It gave us some crab trap bait! That's amazing, that's going to make my life so much easier. So now I'll have tons and tons of bait to put in my crab traps. And that's good because, like I've mentioned before, this is the way that I feed all of my slimes. So having that as automated as possible is going to be really good. Although I am kind of curious to see if it can work from the sides as well. It's got all of these weird little pipe things on it. Oh my gosh, it does! Okay, that's great. Now I can kind of rearrange it to make the most out of the 3x3 area. Okay, I've made up a little bit of a disguise for this thing. I could actually have more worm farms on this if I wanted to, but I think 4 is going to be enough, especially because we're kind of going to run out of Sparkstone soon enough. But yeah, this is going to be so handy. It's not very well disguised, but it doesn't look too out of place. This entire dock is meant to just kind of be a whole mess of just different things piling up, so I guess it really didn't change a whole lot from what I had before. So yeah, I've still got 3 more left because I didn't realize they had such a range on them, so I might actually steal the remaining Sparkstone from my fishing baskets, and maybe set up an automatic preserving operation where Caroline's stall used to be. Actually, this might not be the best place to do it just because it is kind of diagonal. However, my main preserves jar closet here is perfectly 3x3, so I think we should be able to set something up here. The idea is to be able to just load things into a chest and have them automatically preserve. So I think if we do 3 crates and then the hopper, hopefully it'll insert stuff into those and then hopefully also go into this at the bottom. Oh my gosh, it worked! That's so cool! Wow, oh, and it only took from that first one, so I don't need these up here actually. So now in 3 days it should hopefully put the output down into the bottom one. But if we're really looking to maximize this, we really should have it be a 3x3 area. Okay, good, and I can still reach the hopper even if it's fully surrounded. Oh my gosh, it's working. That is so cool to see. And it fits perfectly in these little stalls I've made. Alright, well I guess that does really motivate me to get these 2 people out of here. And this can just be my entire little preserves hallway. But to make this look a little bit less like a weird machine, I'm going to use some thin spruce tables to kind of support this. Oh my gosh, but they connect weird. What the heck? Well, there we go. That's a little better. I think instead of a lantern though, I am going to use a sea lantern on the bottom of the floor. I don't know, I might change it up, but I didn't really like the lantern kind of hanging there. But yeah, that should keep working away for a while. The very last thing that I want to do today is buy a couple of cool things from Caroline, who still is being a little bit mean, but I wanted to buy a couple of shipping bin monitors and a phone for in here. I think that's all the useful stuff I can really get. All of this for like selling stuff, and there's bank accounts and everything, but that's really for like sharing money with other people, and of course I would never do that. But anyways, I'll put the phone over here by the crystallarium, I guess. And surprisingly that does match the vibe. It's just the basic grey one, but I think it still works. Very different from the antique one that I have in my fishing hut. But I'll put my shipping bin monitor, oh my gosh that's huge, on the shipping bin. Let's see, I'll put some logs in there. Oh my gosh, and it shows 83 coins, that's so cool. I'll also move this and put that there. Oh my gosh, but that is, maybe not gonna work. Maybe I'll move it, kind of that way. Oh, that will also not work. You know what? That's fine. I don't think the numbers are gonna get long enough to be cut off by that anyways. But with all of that, I think that is all of the time that I have for today's video. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of the Sunlit Valley SMP.